So hello everyone, this is the bi-weekly meeting of the Storage SIG. Today is Thursday, November 10, 2016, and as a reminder, this meeting is public and recorded. So the agenda looks pretty light today. I think a lot of folks are out due to KubeCon this week, so this is probably going to be pretty short. If you have any items, feel free to add them to the agenda. So first reminder is that this week was feature complete, and code freeze is now in effect for the master branch. There are a couple of items that are still pending. They are for the 1.4 branch and bug fixes. One in particular is the NFS cluster containerization work that's going on for GCE. Jingshu on our side is working on that. I believe the current status is the code is already checked in, and she is doing verification, adding testing, and making sure everything's okay before it's patched back. Second bit is Rajat on our side. It has been working on improving the messaging around the scenario when binaries are missing. So he added in a can mount option to the mounter interface that is called before the actual mount happens. And for the volume plugins that it's implemented for, it'll go out and check what binaries are actually installed and if the requisite binaries for mounting are available or not. And then an event gets created for the pod if the binaries aren't present, that tells the user that the binaries aren't present. It's much easier to understand than the generic mount error that normally users will see. Other than that, I think most of the work for 1.5 is complete for storage. There were a couple of things that didn't make it into 1.5. One was the RBD attacher work. We're going to continue working on that for 1.6. And then I believe the default provisioners, that was one that we really should have gotten into 1.5, but I think we dragged our feet on the code reviews a little bit. And so that didn't make it in. We're going to make sure that it gets into 1.6. All right. Does anyone want to give an update? Did anybody attend the face-to-face earlier this week?
Yeah, this is Steve Wong. I was there.
Hey, Steve.
Hi. We had those original meeting notes with the prospective agenda. We held a vote because there were way too many topics to cover and upvoted 4 of them. I think we got to about 2.5 out of our list of 4. So there are some meeting notes. Let me see if I can figure out, as a relatively recent Zoom user, how to patch these in. I'm just going to put them into the meeting agenda notes for this week, I think.
Sure.
Let me see if I can get that open.
Actually, I have it open. I'll add it in.
Okay. Do you have the link to the...
I've got both the meeting minutes and the agenda for the face-to-face.
Yeah, that'd be useful to people who wanted to catch up. The agenda just tells you who was there.
Right.
And then I think the meat of it was in those meeting notes. So we had a lot of discussion of how to come up with a mechanism to support drivers going forward in the long run, storage plugins, and came up with this idea that there's a matrix of in-tree versus out-of-tree and in-process versus out-of-process. And that going forward, the goal is going to reduce that matrix of 4 possibilities down to either 2 or 3. But in the short term, it is what it is today. So in those meeting notes, there's a picture of the whiteboard at the very end and a bunch of text that talks about it. I don't think we made a final decision. So there, in terms of a plugin interface, the flex volumes are still moving forward, but as a longer term solution, I think flex volumes next generation lib storage or some third thing yet to be determined are all potentially on the table here. I guess that's about it. I mean, you know, the meeting notes, I think, covered some of the material we discussed about testing strategies, things like that. And you can probably read that quicker than I could read it to you in audio here.
Makes sense. Cool. So it sounds like this meeting was a lot shorter than previous meetings, so we probably didn't get a chance to cover as much. But hopefully some progress was made on the in-tree versus out-of-tree discussion.
Yeah, I don't think it was shorter at all, actually, in terms of how long it lasted.
Oh, yeah?
Some people had a conflict at the end of the day with something aligned with the Kubernetes conference, but we went all the way till 5:30, and we probably could have gone longer if we had the energy.
Nice. All right, thanks, Steve.
Okay.
Anybody else have anything to add from the face-to-face or anything in general? All right, I think that's pretty much it on the agenda. I guess we're going to have a very short meeting today. Everybody gets time back in their day. All right, thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.